The night air over Black Ridge had turned brittle. Elias felt it in his lungs, a sharp quality that scoured the familiar sense of pine and damp earth from the world. For 3 nights, the stars had been wrong, not just shifted, but rearranged into cold, unfamiliar constellations that mocked his astronomical charts. A profound, unnatural silence had fallen, swallowing the chirps of crickets and rustles in the undergrowth. The world was holding its breath, awaiting a punchline to a joke it didn't understand. It began with static, not on his radio, but at the edges of his vision, a shimmering geometric lace that vanished if he tried to look at it directly. At first, he dismissed it as exhaustion from his sleepless vigil. But the patterns grew more defined, impossibly complex. They were lattices of non-Euclidean angles, whispers of a geometry with no business existing in a 3-dimensional world. They weren't just seen, they were felt, a low hum vibrating in his skull, a signal from the silent sky. Sleep became a foreign country. Elias locked himself in his observatory, his mind a frantic hive. He was convinced he was on the brink of a discovery that would shatter reality. But a new sensation crept in, a chilling paranoia that he wasn't the observer, but the observed. He felt a vast, dispassionate intellect sifting his thoughts, cataloging his fears, his memories, his very consciousness, as if he were a microbe on a slide. He was coming apart, not from madness, but from a terrible, encroaching clarity. He stumbled to his telescope, desperate for the familiar comfort of Jupiter's bands. He aimed it at the heart of the new alien star field. There was no eyepiece blur, no cosmic dust, only the eye. It wasn't organic. It was a kaleidoscope of silent, shifting galaxies, a lens the size of a nebula, and it was looking back. In that heart-stopping instant, he understood. The altered sky, the silence, the geometric phantoms, they were all just peripheral effects of its gaze. It wasn't an approaching vessel. It was a permanent fixture of reality, and humanity a fleeting curiosity it had momentarily chosen to magnify. The vision shattered, leaving him gasping on the cold floor. Outside, the crickets had started to chirp again, and the stars had returned to their rightful comforting places. Everything was normal, except for the silence inside him. He raised a trembling hand and for a terrifying second saw the faint, crystalline lattice etched over his skin, a ghost of the eye's structure. The sky was no longer a beautiful mystery. It was a window, and he knew, with a certainty that would haunt him for the rest of his days, that something was still watching.